Hi, I'm going to talk about tips today. So tips come in different colors. They come in white, they come in natural, and they can come pre-designed with a design already on it, or also in different colors. They come in a half well, and they also come in a full well. Most people don't use the full wells anymore. For people that are doing nail art, this would come in handy because you could design it and post it. There are also people that are using the full nail designed nails that you glue on or adhere with gel, and so those would be for that purpose. But for acrylics, you're going to go with the half well, or you can go with the no well. And that means that there's no area inside of the tip that has a well. This is called the well. This area here is called the position stop, and the natural nail should never, ever, ever touch that. Not on the sides, definitely not on the middle. So as you place it on the nail, you want to make sure that it's either away from it, at it, but never past it. The best option to get, of course, would be the no wells, because then you can place that anywhere on the nail and it doesn't have to worry about a position stop being in the way. Some tips come with different backs. Companies say that they stick on better because they have gaps there. But the best choice would be a no well tip or a half well tip for acrylics. That would be. These are examples of a natural and a clear half well. After you've decided what kind of tip you want to use, you want to be ready to apply them. The first thing you should do is to cut your nail. You want to cut them short as possible. You're also going to cut it in a shape that fits into the tip. So in this area here, you want to be able to make sure that the natural nail doesn't go over the position stop. This area here is the position stop. This area here is the well. So you can either place it away from it or right at it, but never touching that position stop area. So this area here should not have any natural nail underneath it. If you use the no wells, you don't have to worry about that. So once you've trimmed the nail to the shape of the well, you're also going to file it. And then you're going to rough up the nail. And then you're also going to clean the nail. So you can use acetone to get the dust off. You can apply a dehydrator to help adhesion. And then now you're ready to size your tips because the nail is clean. So I have here a few different sizes from, I believe, 2 to 9. And as you put your tips on, you're going to apply the tip and check the sides to see if it's hanging off and how well it comfortably fits. So this one fits very comfortably, but as you can see, it's hanging off on the sides. So this would be a no. As you apply this one, it fits comfortably and it is not hanging off the sides. So this would be a good fit. As I apply this one, I'm kind of applying more pressure and it is not hanging off the sides. So this could be a possible yes too. When I go to this size, I've got to apply pressure and fan the nail out, and that is barely covering the sides. So I would say that's a no. Again, a no. Again, a no. And of course, the smaller ones won't fit. So I'm going to go with my first choice because I'd rather file the sides than have to worry about it being too short. So you're going to apply the glue to the well area. That's this area here. If you feel like you applied too much glue, you might want to dab it onto a towel, because if you pull it this way, that glue can run from here back there and you'll end up gluing your finger to the tip. So make sure that there's enough that the glue isn't coming down, but yet it's still covering the well. And then you're gonna hold your fingers underneath to push this finger up towards you, and then you're gonna hold the tip here. So you're gonna apply it to the end here, and what you're looking for is these little bubbles here. You don't want any of those bubbles. You want them to go away. So you're gonna go up and down until you rock all those bubbles out. And once they're out and you don't see any, you're gonna lock it into place, and then you're gonna count to 10. Some glues require you to count to 20. You can also chat with a customer at this time if you're doing a person. So when you feel like it might be dry, let go of the tip. And if you see that it's not making any bubbles, then it's stuck on there and it's good. You still want to be careful with this nail when you work on the next nail, because if you hit this, it still could pop off. Once the nail has been glued on, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to trim it. So there's two ways to trim it. You can use a fingernail clipper, cut one side, cut the other side, and then you can twist it off. Or you can use a tip cutter. Tip cutters look like this. And if you use a tip cutter, you want to make sure that you aren't doing this, because that's going to cause it to pop across the room. Then that's not going to be good. Also, it leaves these marks here. So when you're cutting the nail tip, make sure that the tip cutter is the direction of the nail growth. So as you can see, I'm going to angle this down, and then as you cut it, it should cut a clean cut, okay? The tips come in coffin or stiletto, but if you're just using a regular square nail, you can use a straight clipper versus a curved clipper, and you can use that to cut the sides of the tips. You don't want to use scissors because that's dangerous. You can actually cut people's skin right here. So the straight clippers are going to be your best bet. And you're just going to cut it until you're happy with the size that you want. And once you've got a nice size, then you're going to take your nail file and you're going to file the sides so that you've got a nice smooth edge. You're just getting the general shape. You don't want to spend too much time here because you're going to file it again at the end. So there's no reason to spend that much time. So all you're going to do is get the general shape in. And then you also need to rough the surface up, because acrylic's not going to stick to this if it's shiny and smooth like this. So take your buffer and buff in the direction of the nail growth. You can't do this. That's dangerous to the natural nail, and it can cause it to shred and peel later. So this direction only. And now my tip's ready for acrylics.